Hello friends! Back again on our favorite channel, Brainfactor channel. In this video, we will discuss about Asteria, who is a god known as the god of shooting stars. But before watching this video, don't forget to subscribe, like and comment so that we are even more excited to make other interesting videos. Asteria is the name of the Titan goddess who is associated with falling stars. In Greek mythology, Asteria was a Titan goddess who was associated with the stars. She was also revered as the patron deity of nocturnal divinations, such as astrology and oniromancy, which is the practice of deciphering a person's dreams in order to divine the future. Asteria was a goddess of the second generation. She was well known for the fact that she was the mother of Hecate, another well-known goddess who was considered to be the personification of witchcraft. The story of Asteria, as well as the part she played in Greek mythology, will now be discussed in greater detail. Who was this Asteria anyway? Phoebe and Coeus, two Titans, were Asteria's parents. They were the progeny of Uranus, the deity of the sky, and Gaia, the earth goddess, the goddess of the earth. She was born during the time that is referred to as the Golden Age of Greek mythology, which was when the Titans dominated the cosmos under the leadership of Kronos. Leto, the goddess of maternity, was one of her siblings, and Lelantos, who evolved into the Titan of the unseen, was the other. She had two siblings. The name Asteria means the starry one, aura of the stars, when it is translated from its Greek origin. She was also closely associated with the art of divination through astrology and dreams, in addition to becoming known as the goddess of falling stars, also known as shooting stars. In Greek mythology, Asteria is one of the few goddesses who have only ever given birth to a single child. She was married to another Titan of the second generation, Perses, who was the son of Eurybia and Crius. They had a daughter together. They chose the name Hecate for their daughter, and she went on to become renowned as the goddess of witchcraft and magic. Hecate, like her mother, has the ability to divine the future, and she inherited her authority over the earth, the sea, and heaven from both of her parents. Asteria and Hecate ruled jointly over the powers of the Chthonian gloom, the spirits of the departed, and the night. There is very little information available concerning the physical appearance of Asteria, despite the fact that she was one of the most important goddesses of the stars. On the other hand, one thing that we do know about her is that she was a goddess of extraordinary beauty who is frequently compared to the stars in the night sky. Her beauty was described to have been dazzling, visible, aspirational, and unattainable in the same way that the stars radiate their light. Asteria is depicted in the few illustrations that exist with a halo of stars surrounding her head and the night sky behind her. The halo of stars, which served as a representation of her kingdom, is a symbol that is firmly connected to the goddess. Alongside other gods, such as Apollo, Leto, and Artemis, Asteria has also been shown in several paintings of red figure amphoras from ancient Athens. Asteria and Zeus. Following the conclusion of the Titanomachy, both Asteria and her sister Leto were presented with the opportunity to reside on Mount Olympus. As a result, she found herself in the presence of Zeus, the Greek god of thunder. Zeus, who was known to have many affairs with both deities and mortals, including Leto, found Asteria to be extraordinarily attractive and began to pursue her. Leto was one of the goddesses with whom Zeus was involved. Asteria, on the other hand, was uninterested in Zeus and decided to get away from him by transforming herself into a quail and diving into the Aegean Sea. After that, Asteria was changed into a floatable island that was given the name Ortygia, which means the Quail Island, or simply Asteria, in her honor. Poseidon and Asteria. Another telling of the legend has it that Poseidon, the Greek deity of the sea, fell in love with the goddess of the stars and began to pursue her as well. At last, she turned herself into the island that was formerly known as Ortygia, which derives its name from the Greek word for quail. Over time, the name of this island was changed to Delos. Asteria, also known as Delos the floating island, proceeded to travel over the Aegean Sea, which was a hostile and desolate region that was extremely difficult for anyone to occupy. The arrival of Asteria's sister Leto on the island brought about a change in this circumstance. The island of Leto and the god Delos. During this period, Leto had fallen prey to Zeus's charms, and she became pregnant with his kid shortly thereafter. Hera, the wife of Zeus, was filled with jealousy and fury, and she decided to take it out on Leto by placing a curse on her that would prevent her from giving birth anywhere on land or at sea. The only area in which she could give birth was on the island of Delos, which was floating in the ocean. Even though Delos, or Asteria, was prepared to assist her sister, she learned of a prophecy that stated Leto would give birth to a boy who would grow up to be very powerful. This revelation prevented Delos from assisting Leto. Because of this, Delos was frightened that her future nephew, who would inherit the island, would destroy it because it was so ugly and desolate. Leto, on the other hand, vowed that the island would be venerated for all of eternity if she were granted permission to give birth to her children there. Leto went ahead and gave birth to her twin children, Apollo and Artemis, on the island after Delos granted his consent. As soon as Leto's children were born, the island of Delos became firmly rooted in one location by becoming joined to the seabed by sturdy pillars. As a result of the fact that Delos was no longer a floating island, the population of the island increased significantly. Delos eventually turned into a sacred island for Asteria, Leto, Apollo, and Artemis, just as Leto had promised it would. Apollo was the one who assisted Asteria in her transformation into the island of Delos so that she may flee from Zeus, according to certain versions of the narrative. In addition to this, Apollo anchored the island firmly to the ocean floor so that it would never move again. The adoration of Asteria. The island of Delos was considered to be one of the most important locations for the worship of the goddess of the stars. It was said that an oracle that could interpret one's dreams could be discovered at this location. Her adoration by the ancient Greeks consisted of decorating her appearance with gemstones that featured stars and dark blue hues. According to some accounts, Asteria was a goddess who presided over dream oracles and was also revered as the goddess Brizo, who represented the concept of sleep. Additionally, Brizo was well known for his role as the guardian of mariners, sailors, and fishermen. In ancient Greece, it was common practice for the ladies to send offerings of food to the goddess in the form of tiny boats. In brief, in spite of the fact that she was one of the less well-known deities, Asteria was an extremely significant figure in Greek mythology due to the fact that she possessed the abilities of necromancy, divination, and astrology. Many people are under the impression that if they see a shooting star in the sky, it is because Asteria, the goddess of falling stars, has sent it to them. Well, that was the video that explained who Asteria was. A god commonly associated with shooting stars. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it can add to your insight. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment, so that we are even more excited to make other interesting videos. Bye!